I am intelligent. I am prepared. I am a thinker. I am a problem solver. I am focused on my goals. I am resourceful. I will succeed in high school and college. I am responsible for my future success. And I am proud to be a Panther.
Hi, my name is Jariel.
And I'm Ashlynn.
And this is Panther Pride.
Today, we're going to show you guys a couple of things that we didn't get to show you guys last week because of a couple of technical difficulties.
The video we'll be showing you is about women's rights that we didn't get to show you last week.
We're going to show you guys this clip right now.
March is actually Women's History Month. This is where we celebrate the contributions that women have added to our society.
Several in mind just from the books I read when I was a child and a young woman. I would say as a little girl I read about Harriet Tubman. And then as I would say a college student I read about Susan B. Anthony and Elizabeth Cady Stanton. And those, of course, people have long passed. But a more current member is Katherine Johnson, who was a part of the Hidden Figures movie recently released. And I had no idea, I was never taught in my classes that females, let alone African-American females, worked for NASA and were engineers. I had no idea.
Jaden Goodall. So she studied chimpanzees in Africa and was one of the first people who really studied their like social interactions. So she was looking at how they have really complex social interactions. Obviously not as sophisticated as humans, but still pretty sophisticated. And it added a lot to theory about how humans evolved and how culture evolved. I think she may have also been the first one to observe chimpanzees using tools, which before then people thought humans were the only ones who used tools. So.
Maya Angelou comes to mind. She's just always been a voice for black women. Just her poetry, her influence, just really her voice overall for the black community. Just kind of being an example, of how we can and should conduct ourselves.
A female historical figure, I wouldn't put her so far back in history, but Oprah Winfrey. Oprah, to me, is the epitome of strength, perseverance, and the ability to continue to push forward and strive for success, even when success has been reached.
Not moving without women. They make all the difference, whether it's being the pillars in the black community, for certain households, or just being an example, just putting your head down and grinding to get the job done.
Well, I'd have to say it's on different levels and in many ways, some public and some private. And I think one major influence is through their various public and private roles. So publicly, since I'm teaching here as teachers, whatever other roles they have in their public lives, in their churches, and also though in their private lives, with the influence, the effect that they have on their husbands, partners, their children, and their grandchildren. Even if it's not recognized or maybe as obvious or as valued, it still exists.
I think women impact the world in similar ways to men, and also bringing a different perspective. So women and men are both as equally capable, but I think that it is true that there are different perspectives on things in the world, and that it's important to have both perspectives, plus all of the other perspectives of folks who maybe don't identify as either or that appear, you know, along the spectrum of gender. I think one of the things that people talk a lot about with development in third world countries is that when you are not taking advantage of half of your population, you are missing out on brain power and just economic power in general. So it's really important that you are taking advantage of all of the people in your culture.
Well, I think the powers to be that are in power have not seen women as their equal, and this has been going on for some time. And I would wish that would change, but I'm not one of those people in the positions of power to be. So if I were, sure, we make it equal, if not more. I think women has done a lot for this country, and we need to reward them as such.
Well, I think it's because there are certain pressures that women experience directly or indirectly in terms of making decisions that will affect not only themselves, but if they're in a family situation, their families. And I don't think that they're given enough credit or enough recognition that in, of course, consultation, if they're in a family setting, you know, it's a team, it's a family. You gotta, you know, all kind of come together. But I think there's too much pressure on the woman to just be or do it in a certain way. And I just don't think that is fair. And one example, and I know there are plenty of different opinions about this, but one is her body. It's the one thing that she has, the body and the mind and her spirit in her life that she should be able to claim full. And I don't think that they are.
I think it's just like any other issue of discrimination, that it goes way, way, way back. And it's not so easy to just pass laws and have it go away. That can take care of the legal end of things, but all of the stuff in people's heads that is built in by their childhood is a lot harder to get rid of. So, so those biases that people aren't even aware of can really still affect both women and minorities.
Why do you think women aren't treated equally?
Because men are stupid.
Alright, so since we showed you guys that clip last week, we already answered those questions for last week. So we do have a topic for you guys to listen in on and actually tune in on if you would like to, if you call right below. But we are going to start a conversation on a couple of questions that we got from a couple of students in our group, Can TV at Carter G. Woodson. So, do you have a set time that you sit down and study every night?
No.
Why not?
Because I just feel like homework should be done, you know, whenever you get a chance to. Like, I get my homework done every night, but, you know, I do it usually when I get a chance to. It's not like, oh, when I get home at 4:30 p.m. I'm going to do my homework. It's after I eat and, you know, handle some things around the house, then I do my homework.
Well, for me, homework has always been, school has always been priority. No matter what you're doing, it's kind of like you have to be focused on what you have to be focused on school, because school is that's your job. When your parents are going to work, you're going to school. So a study time, I wouldn't really say that I had a study time, because homework is actually practice. So when I'm doing my homework and I'm actually developing what I'm doing for homework, that's my way of studying. I don't really feel like studying is really something that you need if you have homework, which is meant for you to study already. So if I would do homework and then study again, it would be basically like making my homework extend for the rest of the night. And I feel like it's not really cause for if you should just do your homework. And when like a set study time, well, each day is different for me. So like I might be somewhere like on Tuesdays and Thursdays I go to a program which ends at 6 o'clock. So and there we actually do our homework. So I do my homework and I get home around 7. So really it's time for you to take your shower, eat dinner, and go to bed. So there is not really a cost to study if you do your homework and you do what you need to do at school. You don't really need to study like that. But do you participate in a study group?
No.
Why not?
Because it was something that I wasn't really interested in. Like a study group would be like an after school activity. I took on other things like sports. I don't have a study group, but I do go to homework club on Tuesdays and Thursdays. But like I said, I took up other things like sports, basketball. So, no.
So, do you think that sports and basketball, do you feel like that would help you? Like, is it a way of getting school off of your mind, or is it like a way of still being intact with people at school rather than work?
I think basketball is fun, but it also gives you discipline as well. So I think that sports in general teaches you discipline and you get to have fun.
Well, my answer to the question, which was if I go to a study group, like I said, I go to a program on Tuesdays and Thursdays where we actually study and we don't study, we do homework. And if we need help, we talk about the work that we're doing. So I would say that's kind of like a study group, which lasts for like an hour or almost 2 hours, so an hour and 45 minutes. So, yeah, we was kind of like a study group. So, do you believe a study group can be beneficial in making you a more effective student?
Definitely, because when you study more, you get better grades on tests. And when you get better grades on tests, it helps you, it prepares you for high school, college, and any other thing you want to do academically. So I think it does make you a better student because it teaches you to, basically get stuff done. And you need time to go over this because you may not have it. So a study group definitely helps you have it.
So when you said it allows you to get stuff done, I took that in as focusing. It allows me to focus. It makes me think, okay, now I'm away from everyone who everyone who I'm cool with at school. So now I'm alone to where this is the only thing that's in front of me to do. So I'm gonna do my work because that's the only thing that I have right here to focus on. That's the way I kind of took it in my study group with me. It was just a way for me to focus rather than having all of those distractions around me because I'm surrounded by a group of people who are all there to do their homework. They don't have anything else to do, so we can do our homework.
Right.
And all of us have different work, so it really allows you to focus on what you have to do because nobody else in that room can really tell you how to do what you're doing. And that's just the way that I look at how a study group has been beneficial for me. But which is the most beneficial in turning students into viable professionals in today's society? Book smarts or street smarts?
Both. Because I believe if you're smart at both, then there's no job that you can't tackle. There's no job that you can't do. So if you're book smart and street smart, then you can go to college and basically major in anything. You can become anything you want to be.
I feel like I agree with what you said, but there's some points where I'm kind of leaning towards maybe not, because when I think about book smarts and street smarts, it makes me think like your surroundings. You know what you're around every day. And the thing is, I don't feel like in our community, I don't feel like a lot of people are street smart because the only thing they know is their community. I mean, if you're street smart, you know every neighborhood. You know what every neighborhood is about, the type of people who are there, and just the kind of mood when you go through that neighborhood. If you only know the south side of Chicago, I wouldn't say that you were really street smart. You're street smart in the south side of Chicago, but when you go to the west side or the east side or the north side, you don't know what to do and how you should act and how you should approach people because they might act a completely different way than you act. When you're book smart, math is math, reading is reading, science is science, social studies is social studies. Everything is the same. I wouldn't say that we have the same curriculum in certain neighborhoods because in certain neighborhoods they're being taught way above what we're being taught, and here we might not be taught what they're getting taught. So I would feel like book smart is really kind of restricted to one area in the place that we're in Chicago. I can already tell in certain neighborhoods they might have a different attitude and a different mood than we have because we're on the south side of Chicago. We only know our neighborhoods and what we've been around, and we only know the curriculum that we're being taught. So I feel like book smarts and street smarts, I wouldn't feel like I wouldn't think that you were already a viable professional because you would really only be a viable professional if you were around only the people that you've been around in your neighborhood and where at the place that you're learning at, because that's just where you're learning. If I go somewhere where it's people from all around the world learning something different, I'm being compared with these people. My neighborhood is not as accurate and not as good as their neighborhood, so I would feel like I wouldn't really compare. So I wouldn't say it was really viable. I would say I'm viable for where I am and what I'm doing. So I would kind of say like yes and no. But our next question is, should public schools bring vocational training, learning a trade, back into the educational process?
I think they should, because like everything that I'm trying to get at is they should, because when you learn certain things and you learn things to the utmost level, then you're prepared. So if I learned on the utmost level, like I was saying, or I learned at the highest level, then I'm prepared for high school. Level. Like if, I go to math and she's teaching me on the highest level math, or I'm learning high school level math, then I can be prepared for high school. So I think you should teach everything. Everything should be taught. So when they get to that milestone in their life, or they get to that step in their life,
they have a step up.
Right. They can be ready for it.
I completely agree with you. With the vocational training, learning a trade, it allows kids, especially now at this grade and 6th, 7th, and 8th, we have a restricted learning space to where we only learn math. Oh, it seems that we have a caller, so we'll listen to the caller now. Hello, caller.
Yes, hello?
Yes.
Hi.
Hi. I want to comment and I want to say to you sisters, you're doing a great job. But we are more viable than you would expect in more ways than one. We're not just viable by our education. We're viable by our presence also. Okay? People want to know what's going on with us and what's on our mind and what we do and how we survive. Okay? Our education levels are great for black people because they do everything they can to keep us from learning, from processing, from becoming. But we are able to do that, okay, regardless. So we are never, ever not able to be a part of any conversation or participate in any activities that is around the world, period. Okay, we are important just like others think they are important. We are a part of this world just like others think they are a part of this world. It's just that it takes us a different route than they're accustomed to taking to get to where we're trying to go and what we're trying to do. We are beautiful people. We are proud people. We are a people that will fight for our place in this world of what they so-call the melting pot. We always had to fight. We always will have to fight. You young ladies are doing a great job. You're beautiful, and I'm proud of you. And stay strong, and never forget that we are a part of this world. and we have a place at the table like everybody else. Never forget that. Never, ever let nobody make you feel less than. You are somebody in this world, regardless of what you see, the way they try to treat you, the way they try to make you think of yourselves, the way they do. They try to give your family and your fathers and mothers hard times on the jobs and things of that nature. They try to prevent us from becoming, but God makes a way for his people. Never forget that. We are the chosen people because we have survived every stone thrown at us. Never forget that. We are important, but we have to learn our importance and bring all our importance together to one another as a race, because our people are confused, frustrated, and don't understand the importance of sticking together and pulling together and bringing our sources together and realizing that we have to do this because nobody else wants us to succeed. So we have to make ourselves successful. Let's not forget that. Thank you.
Thank you. So to speak on what the caller just said, I feel like he was really speaking towards a lot of things that are on most of our minds. We really agree with the caller. With him saying the essence of, I think he was speaking towards African Americans. We have been building for so long, just trying to be equal, not even noticing that we don't have to build on something that's already there. We know that we're beyond what most people see. And yes, a lot of different cultures, mostly the majority, our Caucasians, have tried to hold us back because they know of what we're capable of. But the thing is, we've been put in a setting where we're separated, not without even noticing it. We're separated. We've been put in these different neighborhoods with different things that they're kind of influencing us at a young age. With CPS and the way that kids are learning in CPS and in charter schools now, we're not getting the education to where we are getting the equal education. And we've been putting, most of our parents, like you said, a lot of our parents are working really hard and not being treated as fair as they should be because they're working so hard just to get their kid the fair education which is the only thing that they know, the only choices that they're given. So unless a person, that's an African American person, was to stand up and to say, I'll go here to a place where most African Americans are not because they don't even know of this or know that they're capable of doing this. When they go to this place and they do what they have to do there, they see that African Americans start to become equal. The people who are willing to step up and to say something and to actually go to those places where they're put in the same position as people who are like Caucasians and different races who already have that for them. When we step up and we actually acknowledge that we can be and we are capable of doing something so great, then we'll actually do that. If children now are put in that position where they have no choice but to be great, they'll be great. I feel that a lot of older people who don't notice that, they don't put their children in that position where they say you can go here with everybody else. Well, a lot of kids don't want to be like everybody else. They can be so much better. And I feel like a lot of our kids really can be better. It seems that we don't have enough time, but thank you, caller, for calling in. And I'm sure Jariel wanted to share her opinion, but we did not have a lot of time. So thank you so much, everyone, and thank you for calling in, and we'll love to speak to you guys next week. Bye.